It's the first show in the books. Sam and Jay Talk MMA. I'm Jay, JFT, and my No Punches Pulled co-host, SW Fight Ups, Sam Walker, is joining me as always. How are we, brother?
Oh God, my man cannot wait. We've finally got a UFC card this weekend. It's been the best part of 6 weeks. We're now, 3-4 days away. So, my sleeping patterns thank me. But, we're going to get a very, very good card on Saturday night, aren't we?
Yeah, we were just talking off camera. You know, one of the biggest fights in women's MMA history has dropped off the card. But even without that fight, it's massive still. It's massive.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Sugar and Song Yadong slipped into the co-main, hasn't it? Look, it's a good fight. Obviously, gutted that Kayla versus Amanda was off, but I mean, really, do we know what Amanda Nunes, the shape she'd have been in, the inactivity and stuff? I didn't like the matchup for her, to be fair. But look, yeah, I'm sure they'll run it back. The White House, probably, I would say.
We say that. I mean, Kayla Harrison's had to have surgery on a neck injury. It's a long-standing issue that she's had, and I believe that she's sort of pushed through previously, and this time she couldn't. There has been talks of her actually retiring. She's not going to say that yet at this point. I think she's going to try rehab, but I don't think we're going to see that fight. As you say, we might see it in the White House, which is summer, I believe, or certainly third quarter of the year.
Yeah.
But, you know, fingers crossed we get that fight. I think Juliana Pena put her head above the parapet. Nobody wants to see Nunes versus Pena again.
Do me a favour.
It was a shock, the first one, which we thought was luck, and I think it was proved that it was luck in the rematch. Amanda walked straight through her. I'd rather not see Amanda fight than see her fight anybody other than Kayla Harrison. I think that's the only itch I'd like to see scratched in terms of those two. Right, we'll start at the first fight of the main card, shall we?
I agree with what you said there, mate. Let's do it, man.
I think we've got a bit of a delay. Right, first fight on the card, Arnold Allen, who hasn't fought since beating Gaethje, July 2024, coming off a loss before that. Put that right. I think he's been rehabbing a shoulder injury that he's had. He's going straight back in. He's still ranked number 6. Jean Silva, explosive Brazilian. He's got knockout power. His notable wins, Charles Jourdain, Drew Dober, but he did get knocked out by Diego Lopez in his last fight. So he's looking to bounce back against Arnold Allen. What's your take on this fight?
It's a good fight, isn't it? I mean, like you say, Arnold's been out for the best part of 18 plus months now, where he's had a bit of he's been unlucky, should I say, with a few injuries, hasn't he? I know he does a lot of heavy weightlifting. I think his dad's a powerlifting champion.
Massive.
I don't know if that has any effect on what he does. But look, we know how good he is. We saw what he did to Dan Hooker, even though Dan Hooker was very depleted, I think, at the time. I always think Arnold maybe be better at 155, but he's always kind of stuck at 145, hasn't he? Mosvar beat him before that, Max Holloway. So it's good to see him get rid of the skid against Gaethje that time out. John Silver was the guy, wasn't he? He's kind of running through, been going Arnold, but obviously he was derailed by Diego Lopez, who's fighting Volk next week in Australia in a pay-per-view headliner. So that's how close John Silver was to being in for the championship. Well, I like the matchup. For a pick, I actually don't even know.
I'd favour Allen. I think, but I will caveat that
would be the favourable pick, but you just don't know what
if he had
like.
momentum.
Yeah,
he hasn't. Allen's coming from a standing start. We don't know how good his shoulder is.
How will John Silver react to having he was badly knocked out, wasn't he, by Lopez last time out? So it's an interesting fight. I like the matchmaking.
Yeah, it's great matchmaking. We'll see as we move up the card, the main card. Every fight has something. You know, we've got crossroads fights, we've got comebacks. You know, if I had to pick someone, I would pick Allen. I think that's a bit of British bias. I have interacted with Allen. We have a bit of a laugh on social media, so I would back him anyway. But you know, he's going to have to mind his P's and Q's. I think what stands him in good stead, he's got a really good chin. He's never been knocked out, has he, Arnold Allen? He's been best.
No, solid.
Silver is coming off as you said, a bad knockout. So it's how's he gonna fare coming off that knockout? Is he gonna have the same sort of confidence? We saw that with Benoit Saint Denis. He was a little lackluster in his first comeback fight. He seems to have got his rhythm back. You know, I'll favour Allen, but it's not a confident pick. It's you know, sort of it's a very much a 50-50 fight.
50-50.
Yeah. Next fight, we've got Natalia Silva against Rose Namajunas. Now, Silva, she's well-rounded. She's really good at grappling. She's unbeaten in the UFC. I think she's on a 7-fight streak. She decisioned Alexa Grasso at UFC 315. And she's number 2 in the division. Now, we've got a former champion in Rose Namajunas, or former 2-time strawweight champion up at flyweight. She's alternated results in the new weight class. She got a UD over Miranda Maverick, which was her last win. She sort of showed really good, I'm going to say ring or cage IQ in that fight. She was in awkward positions. But again, Rose Namajunas, she's been at the top of the tree a couple of times, but then she just seems to have really flat performances for me.
Yeah.
And I worry about her going into this fight.
Yeah, it's crazy to think she's 33. I mean, it was about 10 years ago now where she head kicked Zhang Weili, and then she beat her in the rematch on points as well. And we know how good Zhang is. She's brilliant. I'm just looking at Silva's record. To be fair, she's got some brilliant wins. Grasso, Rougeau. I think Thug Rose is up against it on Saturday night. I just think that Silva's on the way up the mountain, and unfortunately, Eunice, I mean, look, I rate Rose for going into the matchup because it's essentially a number 1 contenders fight. This, I think, especially with Silva being ranked number 2 in the division. So, look, I don't blame Rose. She's in the game to become champion again. Obviously, she's been to the top of the mountain, as you said. So, it's a good fight, but you know, I've got to favour Silva. I have to. Grasso is a great win.
I agree. I think Rose is young and they're a very similar age, but Rose has a lot of miles on the clock. I mean, she was in the inaugural Ultimate Fighter. I think she lose in the final to what's her name? She was champion for one bet. She had the belt for one fight. The Cookie Monster. What's her bloody name? Not the Venezuelan vixen. That's Juliana Pena. The other, what's her flipping name? The Cookie Monster. That's her nickname.
God. She retired.
You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
It'll do me head in.
Because she beat Rose. She beat Rose twice now.
Carla Esparza.
I can't even.
Carla Esparza.
That's it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not confident. Rose as yeah, I think Rose is on the slide. I think Silva's catching her at the right time. But look, Rose is the type of fighter to come out there and get shit done and fight for a title and win it again. Rose is that good on her day, but I just think that she's had a lot of inactivity and then she'll come back, she'll have a fight, we won't see her. And I know she has a lot of mental health issues, battles as well to get herself through camp. I just don't fancy her chances in this fight, but look, she's as good a chance as anybody.
Yeah, definitely. Big up, Tonio. Just seen the comments there. He said Carlos Esparza in there. Thanks for that.
You got it before you go. Sorry, Tonio, I had the comments turned off, so I do apologise. Proper crossroads fight, this one for me. And I know that sounds stupid, bearing in mind that Sean O'Malley's fairly young, but we've got Sean O'Malley facing off against Song Yudong. Song Yudong...
missed Cortez Acosta, Lewis. That's the one after.
Shit, I've gone straight past that. Sorry. Waldo Costa Lewis against Derek. Waldo Cortez Acosta against Derek Lewis. Now, Acosta's on a hot streak. I think he's had back-to-back victories. Gassiev was his most recent one, dispatched of him. He's really agile for a big bloke as well. He's very, very quick on his feet. His hands are very quick. But I will say that Derek Lewis is the type of guy that when he's up against it, he has that detonator punch. He did it against, what's the Russian guy that, Drago? What's he called? What's his name? The Russian guy that beat him for... That's it, yeah. He was knocking the shit out of Lewis, and then Lewis just cracked him and stopped him. Mm-hmm. I think Acosta will beat Derek Lewis. I think Derek Lewis is very basic in what he does, and Acosta's not. He's very technical and very fast. And again, I give Derek Lewis a puncher's chance in this, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful because he's done great things in MMA. you know, and we saw him sort of take it a bit more serious and started putting wins together, but he's always flattered to deceive at that level. You know, DC made pretty easy work of him, and he's a perennial sort of gatekeeper, I think, he's Derek Lewis.
Let's not forget the Tuivasa knocked him out like a couple of years ago, you know, and look, Tuivasa was good back then, to be fair. Obviously, he hasn't been quite as good since. He nearly beat Cyril Gane, to be fair, in France. So no slight on him, but Cortez Acosta, this is going to be like his 6th fight in 12 months or something like that. Supremely active. The only loss in those is to Sergey Pavlovich. No disgrace.
How good he is.
I'm calling out Mr. Aspinall for his eye and stuff like that, and I don't blame him for trying to punch his ticket. Isn't he? Volkov will probably have something to say about that. I think if Cortez Acosta wins this, the next logical fight is him against Volkov, and then let Aspinall and Gane play out. It's a big night for him. I would have liked to see Volkov in anyway. I think that was the plan, but it didn't. I don't know if Volkov got injured or something, but obviously it's Derek Lewis. Like you say, he's dangerous, but Cortez Acosta should get the job done here.
I think so, and I think he'll make it. I think he'll make it look fairly easier. I just think Derek's there to be hit. He's fairly static. His footwork's just pretty much non-existent. He's just a fighter, isn't he? He doesn't grapple. He doesn't wrestle. He doesn't really use jiu-jitsu. He just stands and trades and covers up and then trades. So I don't expect that to go to points. But, I'm excited for it. It's a mouth-watering fight because it's one of the fights you will not be able to take your eyes off the screen for a second.
No.
So I'll come back to the fight that I mentioned just before. We've got Song Yadong, again, Sugar Sean O'Malley. O'Malley, back-to-back losses to Merab. Back-to-back defeats, former champion. Song Yadong, I think he's 3-1 in his last 4.
He's beaten, didn't he? That was,
but he has beaten the likes of Henry Cejudo. So on his day, I think he comes out of Uriah Faber's gym, I believe, Team Alpha Male, I think. I think he's got sort of a mixed team, a bit like Weili Zhang. She has a mix, doesn't she? She's with Cejudo. What's Tonio asking? Do you guys think Sean loves to fight anymore? He's rich now, and ever since...
it's a fair question, that. O'Malley sort of talked about checking out and all the rest of it.
Look, ultimately, right, I've been involved in boxing, but it's a fight sport, and money does change everything. I think fighters do it for the money. It's all they can do, and I think if they get to a certain amount of money, then the motivation has to go, whether they want it to go or not, as much as they love fighting. Was it Marvin Hagler that said it's harder to get out of silk sheets in silk pajamas and do your runs, etc.? And you know that yourself. Even, you have a good month at work, you get a decent commission. Technically, it should motivate you to work just as hard the next month, but you think, because you've had a bit of extra. So I think his motivation will have dwindled somewhat. But I think Sean wants the belt back. I think the belt meant a lot to Sean. I think it gave him a lot of status and
agreed.
And I think his motivation is to be the champion again. And he has only lost to the best, really. Marlon Vera aside. But Vera again is only recently sort of started to hit bumps in the road. Before that, he was touted as possibly a world champion and certainly a top 5. I think that Sean O'Malley's got enough to navigate his way past Yadong. I think his striking's significantly better. So I just think we're going to see a striking battle here. I don't think we'll see much grappling. What's your take on it?
I think Sean's got better footwork. I think Song hits quite hard as well. I don't think O'Malley's a bigger puncher as maybe he thinks he is, but he's got pop for sure. Look, he can probably navigate his way to a, like you say, striking decision, 2-1. Probably Song might have his moments, but if O'Malley's motivated and he wants to do it, he'll win. If not, Song Yadong will get him because Song Yadong's hungry, man. He's coming for it. But I'm with you. If I had to say, I do think O'Malley wins it on.
I think he'll get a UD. I think Tonio's got a point here. He thinks that Song can ragdoll. I don't think O'Malley's wrestling's any good, but very similar to Izzy, he's got real strong hips. So if he gets against the cage and gets his legs wide, he is difficult to take down. He's really long as well, isn't he? so he can manipulate his legs, and so I think he'll do enough to sort of stay away from that sort of grappling range.
Yeah.
And if it's a striking battle, unless Udon catches him and knocks him out, I think that O'Malley should be able to stay behind the black line and sort of pick his moments.
Agreed.
This is the fight I've been looking. Well, I'm looking forward to them all, but this one is an absolute mouth-watering fight. We've got Liverpool's own Paddy the Paddy Pimblett, who's 7-0 in the UFC. He's coming off a TKO victory at UFC 314 against Michael Chandler. Take that how you will. Against Justin the Highlight Gaethje. Now, he won, I think, didn't he lose to Dustin and then beat Fiziev in his last fight at UFC 313?
He beat Dustin, he head kicked him, he lost to Max, then he beat Fiziev.
Yeah. So they're both coming off wins. As it is with every fight Paddy has, this is his test. For me, I just think it depends what version of Justin we get.
Yeah.
If Justin's static like he was against Max and follows Paddy around, Paddy will pick him off on the feet regardless of his jiu-jitsu. We might see Justin revert to type, which originally is wrestling, and grab hold of Paddy. And it might be a wrestling versus jiu-jitsu match.
Yeah.
I've flipped and flopped. When this fight first got made, I thought Justin's gonna he's gonna knock him out.
Mate, that's exactly where I'm at. I thought, this is it now. Paddy's gonna get knocked out. But then the more I think about it, I think it's a good time to catch Gaethje. Look, there's an obvious way to beat Gaethje, isn't there? Charles did it, Habib did it. Obviously, Max pieced him up on the feet in a different way. But Max has got super boxing. We know that anyway, or MMA striking, if you want to call it that. So, I started to get back into the Paddy camp. But look, I think there's two scenarios here, mate. I think Justin Gaethje's going to knock Paddy's head clean off his shoulders because Paddy's chin is in the air and he is there to be hit. And like Onyo said, I remember his first fight in the UFC against Luigi Vendramini. Paddy was rocked, but he showed a good chin. He has got a good chin, Paddy, let's be fair. I know he said about Scousers don't get knocked out, but
Darren Till.
That's
anybody? Sorry, that's
his little gimmick. But I'm telling you here and now, it's either going to be a Paddy submission or Justin Gaethje is going to just smash him to pieces with that overhand right. The one he got James Vick with,
God, Homer Simpson.
Edson Barboza knockout. Gaethje's got some serious knockouts, but at 37, what does he have left? Paddy Pimblett cannot be catching Justin Gaethje at a better time.
I think Justin's kicks are very underrated as well because he can kick high from.
Look at the Poirier knockout,
right in
head
front
kick.
Of you. Yeah, but he can get his leg up. Really, he's very athletic. I know you don't see him. He doesn't show it a lot about how athletic he is. Just looking at Antonio here, I have seen the images of stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. There's an ingrowing hair or something.
I've had it from an ingrowing hair in my ass crack, and it's awful. It's absolutely awful. It's like flu times 10. It zaps your energy. But yeah, look, I don't think Justin Gaethje is that desperate for money or a fight that he would go into this hampered. They all go in there with
last run at it as well, Jay. He said, Trevor Whitman said, if Gaethje loses this, the last time we see him in an octagon, so that could make him dangerous.
Absolutely, and if Paddy's chin's there to be it, Justin will find it. I actually think now that Paddy can knock him out. I think Paddy can do him on the feet.
He can as well, yeah. I think he can. I think all outcomes are possible here, to be honest. Everything's possible.
But look, it's a fantastic, fantastic card. I'm really excited for it. Should we briefly touch on the prelims just while we're here?
Yeah, man.
I mean, because the headliner of the prelims is...
the headliner in the prelims is a brilliant fight.
Could be a main card headliner in itself. Umar Nurmagomedov against
He's a fight night headliner.
That in itself is a fight night card. Umar's 19-1, lost a decent competitive decision to Merab.
It was 2-0 up against Merab, wasn't he? And then Merab's cardio just carried him through to win the last three.
And Figge, who's gone from the top of the tree lost his title, moved up a division, and he's coming off back-to-back losses. I think Petr Yan and Corey Sandhagen have both beaten him.
Yeah.
I think this, of all fights, is a crossroads fight. I think if Figgy loses his fight, he loses a lot in terms of his position and standing within the elite of the division. And it's a great name for Umar, but I favour Umar in this fight. I have to. He's an Nurmagomedov, for God's sake. Do you? Do you agree?
Umar decision, he should have a bit too much for Figueiredo. I think he's found his level at 135, to be fair. Figueiredo's kind of able to weight bully and overpower people at 125. I think at 135 he's a good fighter, but he's not title worthy or at the elite level in the division. It's too much of a shark infested waters at 135, and he's not quite able to hang with the Coreys and the Yans. And Merab would beat him and people like that.
Just going to what Tonio says there. Sorry, mate, it doesn't change for us. It's still on BT, isn't it? The US?
No, it's still TNT.
TNT.
Still TNT Sports.
Sorry, what were you saying there, brother?
Yeah, I was just saying Nikita Krylov against Modestus is a good light heavyweight fight.
I like Bukowskis because he came back, didn't he? He got dropped, went to Cage Warriors, came back, got that terrible injury, and he's come back with some decent fights. I think Krylov's coming off a bad defeat, is he not?
He hasn't won for years. No. Nikita Krylov, I don't think. I think Paul Craig submitted him, didn't he, and everything.
I'll tell you a fight on the prelims I'm looking forward to. Michael Johnson's fighting Alexander Hernandez.
That's going to be chaos because Hernandez isn't afraid to get hurt himself, and we know about Michael Johnson as well. That'll be chaos. That won't go the distance.
No, absolutely not. We've got Josh Hockey against Denzel Freeman. I'm not going to lie, I don't know much about either of those two heavyweights, to be fair. No, Hockey's unbeaten, but I think they both had.
So Antonio, is it non-pay-per-view for you in the US before you round?
Oh yeah, we've got to pay for it, haven't we?
Yeah, I heard about Conor McGregor's negotiations in coming back, and
he wants to change his contract, but he's only got one fight left, I believe, or two.
Yeah. Well, I'm hearing that George Masvidal is going to be the opponent at the White House.
That's a bad move for Conor. That's a terrible move for Conor.
No, it's a bad move for the UFC.
Yeah.
Because the UFC is in the business of Conor McGregor winning.
Yeah, it's a bad move. I don't.
McGregor wins the White House. That is mega for the UFC. He isn't beating Masvidal.
I don't think I don't think Conor would ever beat Masvidal. I just don't. I think Masvidal's naturally too big.
Well, Masvidal's a terrible match because Masvidal's got a good chin.
And he just goes non-stop. He's not going to stand at range and let Conor pick him off.
Conor won't hold a shot from Masvidal. That's great, Antonio. Yeah, it's Paramount Plus for you have a subscription. Oh, nice. Yeah, we'll be live at some point. I don't know if we'll have the full main card in us, but maybe the co-main and main.
Absolutely,
or something like that.
We'll be doing watch along.
On an hour earlier now, Jay. That's one thing to note. The UFC's new start time is 2 a.m. here in the UK with the Paramount Plus deal.
Awesome.
It used to be 3 a.m. main card time, but now it's 2 a.m. here in the UK. That's something that Paramount have bought in.
Nice. So we'll be watching main events at 5 instead of 6.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Pretty much that.
But no, look, it's a massive card to start the year off. It's kicking off the Paramount deal. It's kicking off the year in style. Anything further to add on UFC 324 before we close the show?
No, mate, no, not at all. Enjoyed doing the first show back. Obviously, next week we've got Volk against Lopez from Sydney as well. So at last, we're finally back in the swing of UFC fight cards. So yeah, we got that, and then we've got, of course, for Boxing's launching on Friday night as well. So TKO and Dana are going to be very busy.
Yeah, so thank you, everybody, for joining us. Anybody that's liked, comment, shared, and subscribe, we appreciate it. We will see you all soon. Sam, it's been a pleasure, brother.